Hi guys, Jarrod here, and are we amidst the final console generation? Is this it? After the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the Wii U, will there be another console generation, or is this it? Have we come to the end of this particular piece of hardware as we know it? There's a lot of different people who are saying a lot of different things. Officially, Sony is sort of moving away from hardware. They've all but confirmed this. They've already, like, it was the executive, I forget who it was, one really high-ranking official who said that, you know, players will stop thinking of PlayStation as hardware and think of it more as a service. And I think that sort of gives you an idea of where Sony as a company sort of envisions the Sony platform, the PlayStation platform moving forward. Microsoft, on the other hand, has actually confirmed that yes, there will be another Xbox, and I find that very interesting. And then, of course, there's Nintendo. Now, Nintendo is the only one of the big three that is actually a video game company. In other words, they only do video games. That's it. They manufacture, they publish, they make games. That's it. Sony is an electronics company or a technology company, and Microsoft at its foundation is a software company, but I guess you could also say they're a technology company as well. And yes, of course, they own companies now that do manufacture and make and publish and all this jazz with their video games, but Nintendo's the only one that truly is a video game company through and through. So, I mean, they still make portables. I don't think you'll ever see another Sony portable. I'll be shocked if you do. If you see another dedicated PlayStation handheld device, I would be very, very surprised. And not because Vita's not like exploded onto the scene or anything like that. I believe it's at in between the 5 and 7 million sales range, somewhere in there. But it's not that. It's that Sony can probably position itself more so that it could sell smartphones that could use this PlayStation platform or app or whatever to grant access to a whole bunch of their games, and not necessarily needing that one physical handheld. Again, this is just, you know, my opinions and things like that. I'm kind of curious to what you guys got to say about all this. But Nintendo is the special one there because they are a game company. I mean, this is all they do. So to say that they will just stop making consoles and portables, that I have a hard time believing. I don't see that happening. You never know, right? But for me, I think you're going to see another successor to the 3DS for sure. You're going to see another home console after the Wii U. I'm one of these guys who really is thinking that one day, maybe not now, but one day, I can really see Nintendo making a handheld device that you could plug into your television, and it sort of acts as a two-in-one. The only thing is that's like one voice, whereas the other voice in me tells me, well, if they did that, though, they're essentially cutting their market in half. They want to have the sales from the portables, and they want to have the sales from the home console. Now, Nintendo is one of the only companies who can actually successfully maintain their own platform. They don't need third parties. This is evident. They've been doing this for years now, where they can actually sustain and make a console profitable all by themselves. And of course, third parties coming on board, that's just the icing on the cake, as it were. And now Microsoft's the interesting one because I think they're slowly but surely positioning away from the console, as it were. Because look at the Xbox One. That is not a traditional console, not in the least. I mean, think of it conceptually. It wasn't even, at one point, didn't even have a disk drive. So, like, it's clear they want to make an all-in-one digital box. And I think that is going to be the successor to the Xbox One. I believe we probably will have another Xbox, but it's going to be this complete entertainment hub, because this is what Microsoft really does. I mean, they've been doing this for years, where they'll slowly look at a market before entering it, and then when they enter it, they really drastically do these different tweaks and changes until they get it just right. And they've been messing around with television and media as a whole for quite a number of years now, and video games is just another part of that. So I can really see them releasing this like Xbox, literally, like just this is their media box and that's it. It won't be this dedicated game console sort of like that. Well, the Xbox One's not a dedicated game console. So I think that's more where they're going to go. And then Sony, I'll be surprised, I won't lie, of like them, if we get a PlayStation 5, I will be surprised. And I know a lot of you guys are probably going to say, there's stuff like, well, there's certain countries that don't have access to infrastructure and all this. And then, of course, there's those the new regulations that are being changed with the internet, with caps and all this sort of stuff. And you're absolutely right. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen, right? But we are coming to the end of consoles as we know it. Like I said, I think the only one of the big three who is like really actively going to push another console will be Nintendo, and for obvious reasons what I just stated. But with Sony, I'll be surprised if they come out in 5 years or whatever, and like, hey, we got PlayStation 5, just because the market is advancing so quickly. That just look at tablets and phones. The technology inside these devices is growing exponentially. Now, do I want to game on my phone? No, of course not. That's not what I want. But it's a reality that we have to face, is that these technologies in these devices, they're growing so quickly. It's advancing so much that eventually the idea of a console will become obsolete, because you won't be able to have this one box that you connect to your TV that lasts for 5 years. Within 2 years, it'll be completely obsolete. Now, I know PCs, that's the gray area, right? Because that's going to last forever. We will always have workstations. That's just the way it is. Because there's no way that tablets and stuff like that will ever be able to sort of catch up and then surpass the hardcore PCs. That's not going to happen, because the components are like this big and the tablet itself is this big. So, there's always that sort of lagging behind. But for consoles, I don't know. I really want to know what you guys think. As you can tell by what I've been saying, I'm sort of split. I mean, half of me says this could be the last console generation as we know it. And then the other half of me is like, well, I don't know. It depends on the infrastructure. It depends on a lot of different things. I think Sony, though, it's funny. Even if PlayStation 4 is this runaway success, if it dominates the industry, I'd still be surprised if we get a PlayStation 5 as we know it, as like this box that you connect to the TV. Just because it's clear they want this. They want PlayStation not as one device, but all devices. Imagine if every device that you have, any television, smartphone, tablet, PC, whatever, if all of that had access to this PlayStation platform. Think of the amount of money that they could bring in. And I think that is ultimately what Sony is thinking of. With Microsoft, like I said, I think they're more all of entertainment. They want this like one hub, sort of like what Xbox One was all about, but I think they're going to take that to the next level. And I think Nintendo will stay the course. I do believe that there will be additional Nintendo consoles, because that's just who they are. I mean, they were a toy manufacturer at one point, and so I can see this as still as a toy, right? Like they'll just keep these consoles going for as long as they possibly can, and as long as they're successful, power to them. But that's enough of my little rant there, and now I want to hear what you guys say. Do you believe that this will be the last traditional console generation, or do you think that there will be a PlayStation 5 and another Xbox and another Nintendo that you'll plug into your TV, put in discs and things like that? Or do you think that, yeah, this will be the last traditional one, but we might have another one where everything is completely digital and things like that? And I can see that too. I could see another set-top box type thing that's completely digital, but like I say, I'm 50-50. So that's enough about me. Go ahead and leave a comment. We've been doing great with these vlogs as of late. And don't worry, I have direct content and direct footage like from games, and I've got reviews coming up. I've got a whole bunch of stuff coming up, but I really like shooting these because they're nice, they're quick, and they get a lot of conversation going. So that's it. So thanks for watching, guys. Be back soon with another video.
Do